What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here tonight with the review for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10, Episode 6. The episode is titled Shape Up or Ship Out. You guys, I'm sticking with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but unfortunately, it's really not that good. This season has been bad, right? Like, it's just not giving what it normally gives. I've been trying to figure out, like, what it is. If it's the fact that we have Safari and Erica on here, as well as Yandy and Mendes, like it's something off for the right. But yeah. And then in 2 weeks from tonight, Love and Hip Hop Miami season 4 returns. So I'm a hope and pray that Miami gives us at least something to work with this season, because this is just not it. But before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, if you guys do me a solid favor and stop taking me on a date and do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, hit all the buttons on the channel, light them bad boys up. So with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This might be a short video because this episode didn't give me much. It took me 2 damn hours to watch this episode. Yes, you heard correctly, 2 hours. I started watching the episode after 8 o'clock, and it's now almost 10 o'clock at night. But let's get into it. All right, you guys. I have no idea where to start up because nothing was that significant in this episode, right? Let's talk about Rashida and her family, right? So we see Rashida. So she takes Kirk. I didn't know where she took him for the longest time because it looked like the I don't know what it was. I thought maybe she took him to a strip club or something. Didn't know, right? But what she did was she actually took him to the new press location. The outside of that press location, I don't know how far they are away from being open, but you would never guess that was even a storefront because there's no signage or anything up there, right? Because I know, like, when you see most places when they have a new business coming, they'll have at least a sign saying, you know, Chick-fil-A coming soon, Raising Cane's coming soon, Popeye's coming soon, or whatever the restaurant is, whatever the restaurant business, whatever it is, it'll normally say coming soon. They don't even have that from what I can see, right? So yeah, they need to work on the outside because the outside looked terrible. So then they talk about his trip to New York, and he talks about how good the trip was, you know, reconnecting with, you know, seeing his son, da-da-da-da-da. It really wasn't much. So then she tells him that, you know, she's going to throw like a barbecue or something for her sister Booby because they've decided that they want to spend more time with each other, right? And, you know, she's telling him, you know, he asked her how was things, you know, while he was gone. She says, you know, I went and ran Frost Bistro with the kids and things ran smoothly. He says, but that's how it always is with the kids. You know, they do good when we there, but when we not there, that's when, you know, it's not good. And they got to figure that out. Okay, Kirk, whatever. So then we move over to Rashida's sister. So Booby has 2 daughters, right? So Rashida said at one point she was real close to her nieces, but she's not as close with her nieces as she once was because she feels that her nieces are like her sister, right? She only hears from them when they want something. I mean, isn't that how it is with most family members? You know, sometimes, especially with a family member who has money or anything, you probably feel like, or if you just have anything of value, you feel like, damn, I don't hear from you until you want something. Actually, I have family members like that. I'm like, damn, you gonna text me when you want something? You only call or text me when you need something. Okay. I'm like, damn. Like, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? But I haven't heard from you otherwise. Make it make sense. But whatever. So, where were you at? So they talk about them and coming over for the holidays, but they were like, you know, they don't feel like they were invited, you know, welcome. She was like, y'all have always been welcome. Y'all just don't come. And then, you know, she was like, y'all were invited last year, but y'all didn't come. Y'all were invited the year before that, y'all didn't come. And then they said, well, we were going to come, but we changed our mind. So I guess Rashida went off on one of the nieces She said, but did you ask me for something? She says, well, I'm not the niece that taking. I'm not the one that normally asks you for anything. I don't know what to make or take from Rashida and her family. I really don't. I really don't know what to make or take from their family. They got a lot of issues because Booby was talking about how, she felt like her mom will tell Rashida about things about her. Again, like I said, I just don't know what to think about this situation. Whatever, right? Then Rashida was like, but y'all don't even call me. They were like, they say it's hard to call her. She's like, how is it hard? Either you have an Apple or Android and you just put in the number and call me. But then they were like, but when we do call you, you don't answer. Well, if you calling me because you want, if I feel like you calling me because you want something, then no, I probably won't answer the phone. But if you're just calling me just to say, hey, Sheeta, how you doing? Then cool, that's fine. Again, like I said, I don't know what to make or take from this situation, but I hope they work it out. We'll move on. I need to shave. All right, you guys. Damn. Like I said, this episode wasn't good. Actually, no episode has been that good, right? Let's talk about Yandy and Mendes real quick. So we see Yandy, she's doing a photo shoot for this skincare line that she says she has. Never heard of it. But I don't follow Yandy on social media, so I guess I wouldn't. But I didn't know she had a skincare line. Had she, the time that she's been on Love and Hip Hop New York, I don't ever remember her talking about a skincare line. But okay, Yandy, broaden your horizons, right? So we see the photo shoot. Now it's for her teen and men line. So we see some girls doing their, we see some girls, and then we see Infinity and Lil Mendes. Lil Mendes has really grown up, right? So then Yandy's talking to Mendes about how a year ago Infinity was in one of her photo shoots, but they didn't talk to each other because I guess that's when they had that conversation about, Infinity and the man, and how she wasn't gonna be up under her roof disrespecting her, right? I get that, right? I do get that. It makes sense to me, but my whole thing with Yandy is, why are we still discussing this shit on TV, right? Like, I know people have had, side-eyed Yandy for years when it comes to Infinity. I can't really say that I was one of those people, but I mean, now it's just like, why are we mentioning all this stuff on camera? You know what's so weird? I'm looking at my beard. Right here, it look like it's, and then over here, nothing. It's thicker over here than it is over here. I'm sorry, y'all. My beard is more entertaining than this show was, right? So Mendes says that they shouldn't let Infinity. He feels that they shouldn't let Infinity move back into the house, and what they should do with Infinity is get her an apartment, pay for her rent for 2 months, and then after that, she pays for her rent, right, and her bills, right, after she gets a job. I'm like, but she's a college student, right? She's a college student. See, when I was in college, I lived at home with my mom, and I worked my freshman and my sophomore year. Those were the 2 years that I worked. After that, I didn't work anymore. I stopped. I had one job. I had a job going into my junior year, but I got let go from it. And then I was telling my mom, I'm like, at this point, I'm 2 years away from graduating. So me and her had the conversation. I'm like, are you okay if I just don't work and just go to school full time? She was like, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Because I was still getting my student loans. Well, when I transferred, I got student loans, and I was still getting my federal student aid. So it wasn't like I was really destitute or anything. And at that point, when I transferred to my university, I stopped buying textbooks. I started renting the textbooks every semester. So we cut down on that cost as well. So, but a college student, you want her to get what kind of job is she? What kind of apartment are you guys going to get her? Number one, and a part-time job, I'm pretty sure it's not going to pay nearly that much, right? It might pay a little bit over minimum wage, because all of my jobs when I was in college, with the exception of the last one when I worked at the bank, that was the only job that I had that paid well over minimum wage. At that job, I was making $10 an hour, but I was still working part time. So at the end of it, every 2 weeks, my check when I would come home, it was just a little under $1,000 because I was working good hours. I mean, part time. I was still working pretty. I was still working pretty damn good hours. I was just, I was really doing good. It's so funny, man, because every paycheck, because since I didn't have any bills at that time, every paycheck I was going to the mall buying clothes so that I could go out to the clubs. Man, times were simpler, huh? So then we see, Yandy and Mendes, they're home. So they go to talk to Infinity and they ask her what her plans were, right? She said that the thing that she really came down to Atlanta for was to, right her wrong. She knew she had messed up with Yandy and she just wanted to make it right. So then Mendes tell her what they discussed earlier about, wanting to get her an apartment. Her pay, they pay her bills for 2 months. Then after that, she gets a job and she pays the bill. She says that's not really what she wants. She's not ready to be on her own and feel isolated. And Yandy, you had a conversation, which we're going to talk about that. You had a conversation with Sierra, and you still didn't heed what Sierra said, but okay. And I really felt bad for Infinity because Infinity broke down and started crying. And it's actually where the episode ended at, you guys. But we're going to move on. All right, you guys. So I'm trying to get this video. Well, this video is longer than 10 minutes, but this episode was boring as fuck. So let's talk about Safari and Erica. It really ain't much to discuss with these two. When it comes to Erica and Safari, I really don't know how much of the stuff with Erica and Safari is legit real and how much of it is just for a storyline, right? So Erica and Safari is back from New York, just like Kirk is. So Erica and him are at the park with, Maji, and he asks her how were things while he was gone. She says it was quiet. So then he tells her he saw his mom, right? And that she wants to come down to Atlanta to visit them and to see Maji. So then he tells her how his mom basically got on him about, and he said we about the social media post. It was not, she didn't say y'all. She said you, Safari. She was specifically talking to you because you were the one that went on social media talking about how marriage was a terrible, the biggest mistake you ever made, right? What do you think about, like do you not think about what your daughter's gonna see when she gets older and she's able to pick up a phone and read this shit that you said about her mom? Like, do you not think about what your kids, because you have 2 children with her, do you not think about what your children are gonna think and feel about the way you treat their mother? Your kids are probably gonna hate you. Just gonna be honest with you. Your kids might end up hating you with the way that you treat their mother because it's terrible. But he apologizes to Erica. So then we see Safari's mom. She's in Atlanta, right? So they do tell her that, I think her name is Shirley, right? So they tell her that they're having a boy. So this is her first grandson, which is congratulations to her. So then, she and Safari takes Maji into the house. He was like, what is the baby? Want to know what the baby's name is going to be? She's like, it's Shred Samuels. No. So then he takes Maji in the house, and Eric and his mom are talking, right? So I'm gonna take it that Safari was like this when he was growing up. It's okay to, joke and be silly and whatnot, but you gotta know how to be, you gotta know when it's the time to joke and when it's time to be serious. And I don't think Safari has mastered that, right? And you're 40 years old. That's terrible that you're 40 years old and you have not mastered when it's time to be serious and when it's time when you can actually joke and have fun with people, right? And Safari's mom says that she couldn't stand that when he was growing up. So then, we see Erica. So she's talking to Safari's mom about her relationship with her mother and how she doesn't want her relationship with her kids to be like that, because what it is Erica says that she's taking care of her mother, right? But she and her mother don't have a relationship with each other and they don't talk to each other. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and take care of a person. I'm not going to sit here and pay someone's rent, bills, or anything that I don't have a conversation with. Well, I guess I could. Nope, nope, nope. I don't know. I really don't know, right? I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I guess I wouldn't. I mean, it's your mother, right? So you wouldn't want your mother out on the street. So I guess I could. Well, not my biological. Shut up. You should have said that. Well, no, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. My biological mother, I don't know. Like, if she ever texted me and said that she needed some help financially, I don't necessarily know that I would be able to say, yeah, I got you. I don't know. Let me know what you guys. I don't know. I can't say yes and I can't say no, right? Because I just don't know what that would be like. Because I actually have a situation with her where I thought she wanted something from me. I was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't want anything, because I just don't know what that answer would be. But that's neither here nor there, right? But let's move on and wrap the episode up, because I'm tired of talking about this boring ass episode. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna breeze through Carly's part real quick, right? So it was Carly's birthday. Lamar was hosting a party for her on Lake Lanier. So everyone is there. We see Rashida. Nope, we did not see Rashida. We saw Spice. We saw Kendra. We saw Jock. We saw Yandy Mendes. That's who we saw. And Jasmine was there, right? So like I said, they're out on Lake Lanier. Lamar's driving. Jock is telling us about the myths and tales of Lake Lanier. I've heard about Lake Lanier, but I don't know what's what with Lake Lanier. So then we see Yandy. She was talking to Sierra and to Kendra about her situation with Infinity. I mean, I didn't necessarily like the fact that she was talking to them about this situation with Infinity, right? But I do like the fact that Sierra defended, Infinity in this situation. I do like that. And she says that, what's going on with Infinity, it might have something to do with her abandonment issues, which I'm like, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's her abandonment issues. So then we see Jasmine as she's getting to know Lamar. He tells her that both he and Carly are taking their time with one another. That's a fake relationship. Carly is just like the rest of us in the world when it comes to Spice. She's like the rest of us in the world when it comes to Carly. We all know every season, Carly brings on a different dude. Instead of, Spice was like, I'll get her a dildo. I'm like, that might be the best thing for Carly, right? So then, we talk about couples retreat with Yandy and Mendes, right? And you guys remember in couples retreat, when Mendes was asked if he could hold Yandy down the same way she held him down when he was in prison, he said he wasn't sure, right? So it was really interesting that they were talking about that, right? Because I've never saw them talk about, because even on Love and Hip Hop, like when they do crossovers, right, they never really mention it too much, right? I don't even know, like, when I'm trying to remember when K Michelle went from Atlanta to New York, did they ever really just talk about Atlanta? I don't believe so. Like, I don't believe anytime they've crossed over, they really, maybe not, I don't know. But it was just interesting. They were talking about another show within the show, right? Where we at? Let's wrap this shit up. Let's wrap it up. So then we see Jock, him and Lamar talking to Mendes, telling Mendes that basically what you said was bad, bro. But he says that him and Yandy are in a good space. I don't care, right? So then we see Carly and Jasmine. They are out working out with a face full of makeup, eyelashes, and everything. I'm like, if this ain't the fakest scene I've ever saw in my life, like, really? Who works out with who? Especially when you see Carly's eyelashes. Who works out with eyelashes on like that long, and then your face is like literally beat. But okay, whatever. So Jasmine was getting ready to graduate. Carly told Jasmine this story about why she sent her to live with her grandmother, which honestly it did not make a lot of sense to me, right? So Jasmine's father, which was Carly's husband, he was into money laundering, and I guess the feds came and the feds were looking at her as well, but it didn't make sense. Like, if the feds realized that you weren't involved in it and you didn't go to jail, I thought the story was that she went to LA to work, do some, to work on her acting career. I think Carla forgot what her stories are, right? But whatever, you guys, that's it. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Please leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share the video into the next one, you guys. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask or not. Whichever one you guys do decide to do, just be safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys. Boring ass episode.